Hey everybody, this is Dave Dugdale, learningdslrvideo.com. Today I'm going to compare my old halogen lights to fluorescent lights. So I've had these old halogen work lights for many years, 3 or 4 years I've been using them. And they work pretty well because they're extremely cheap and the quality's really good, but they're not very portable. So I'm kind of looking for something to replace them with. The main issues why I really don't like these halogen lights is, first off, this power. They use a ton of power. Just one of these, which is using close to 900 or over 900 watts of power. The second reason is these things are stinking hot. Man, they are so hot, they're dangerous. Needless to say, these things don't look very professional. They're not very portable. I can't bring them to a project and set them up. It's just not gonna work. The other thing, these things are about 2900 Kelvin, so they're a lot warmer than daylight, so they don't really work well with daylight. So what other kind of lights can I use? HMIs you see a lot on like Hollywood movie sets, but I've looked at the pricing. I could tell you I'm not even gonna look at them because they're way too expensive. Another thing is tungsten. I kind of looked at that for a little bit, and then I got talking to a Westcott rep about their tungsten lights that they offer for their soft boxes, and she said they only last about 80 hours, and I was like, 80 hours? Are you kidding me? I'm not gonna, there's no way. So I took tungsten off my list. So I'm basically looking for 3 things. One, I want them to run really quiet. These halogens are dead quiet. 2, I want them to be really cool, not like the halogens. And 3, I don't want them to draw a whole bunch of power. So what does that leave us with? Basically 2 things. You got fluorescent and you got LED. Our LEDs are great and they've come down in price and they're coming up in quality, but I'm gonna save that for a different video. This video, I wanna basically compare where I've come from, and I've been using these for several years, the halogens. I wanna compare them to the fluorescents. So my first question comparing these is, which one's better quality-wise? The color of the light. Basically, I'm looking for really good, accurate skin tones. So I want to compare both the halogen against the fluorescent. And as you can see here, in my somewhat robotic looking head, I don't know why I did it that way, but you can see that both of these images are pretty much identical. One of them is going to be a little bit off because my custom-made softbox is a lot larger, so it's going to wrap around my face. But just looking at the skin tone, the quality of the light hitting the face, that's mostly what I'm interested in. Basically what I want to look at is the difference between the halogen and the fluorescent in terms of the quality. So I want to look at the color rendition or color rendering index. From what I understand is if you have a high number like 100, which would be the sun, that's the best you can get. Then the lower the number you go, let's say 20 for a mercury vapor lamp, the kind that you'd see in a parking garage or street lamp. You go out to look for your car and your car is blue, but you're looking at it looks kind of green, or the colors look really muted. And that's because, the color rendition index or color rendering index is lower. So what I want to find out here is I've got my halogen, which I believe has a CRI of 100, and I've got the Westcott softbox, and the bulbs that it comes with, the fluorescent bulbs, have a CRI of 93. And I think as you look at the video here, you can pretty much see that they look almost identical in terms of colors. All right, from what I understand is when you get above 90 on the index, pretty much all of your colors are gonna look very accurate. Now, just for the kicks, I went around my house and got a whole bunch of different light bulbs, from incandescent to LED, some of my cheap fluorescents. I got the halogen and I got the Westcott. And what I did basically is I put the light on the card and then I recorded it with a neutral picture style, and just to see, how they compare stacked up against each other. And to be honest, even this, the LED that I have performed pretty well. I was kind of surprised. They're all very similar. Also, comparing the fluorescents to the halogen, they're both dead quiet. They make absolutely no noise whatsoever. Although I do have some fluorescents in my house that do make noise, and they're pretty irritating now that I know that they can be silent. With the Westcott fluorescent light bulbs, I didn't see any flicker, but I started to change the shutter speed and started ramping it up. I only usually use 50th of a second or 125th of a second, but if you're looking for some real slow motion and you want to raise up that shutter speed, I did start to see some banding up around 160 and higher. What's also kind of interesting is I also kind of tried this out on my this LED light I bought at Home Depot. They're like $9 and they're actually pretty good. It's not bad at 60th of a second, and it's not bad at 30th and a 40th of a second, but if you go to 50th of a second, you can see banding, and anything above that, anything above 60, heavy banding issues. So kind of an interesting light. Works actually pretty well, but you got to remember to keep it on a 60th of a second. So basically it looks like these Westcott fluorescent light bulbs will work just fine for me. They meet pretty much all of my requirements. And what I'm going to do in the next video or a video after this is I'm going to definitely do a thorough review of the Westcott softbox, and I'll compare it to one of my neighbor's softboxes he has as well. That's pretty much it. Talk to you guys later. Bye.